All right, guys, we're here back with another trade recap. Let's scale up here. Okay, so today bias was longs here. We're on the higher time frame. All right. Got this drawn liquidity that I knew that we were going to take out, and then obviously I mark out my time frames between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. That's where I happen to find the most liquidity to be thrown into the market, so I can always have draws and liquidity. So that's very important when you're on the charts here. You want to know where you want to target, obviously. So let's get into how I was able to take this trade. So now we're here on 5 minute. I established my bias. My bias is bullish. ES is way more bullish than Nasdaq. When I opened the charts, Nasdaq was already down 0.30%, and then Nasdaq was sitting around up 0.05% there. So I knew Nasdaq was bullish just based off how the points were right there. Now, and then also when I opened the charts, ES was actually like setting above the 5 a.m. and 2 a.m. liquidity right there. So, and then Nasdaq was far below it, I believe. Yeah. See, yeah, they were. It was already down here. So, and then also on Nasdaq we had this fair value gap that didn't get filled until later on. So I knew that's where I wanted to target. That's how I established my bias right there. So now we need to scale down to a lower time frame and find entries here. So let me remove this real quick so I can show y'all what I'm talking about here. All right, so charts open. We break this 5 a.m. liquidity and 2 a.m. here, and we're just kind of just sitting around here. Like, we ain't really making any moves now. So I established that if we break above this, then that's where I'm going to enter. And I want a candle close at least above there. So I know that's where I'm going to take my entry so we can actually push further up and take out. So we're just sitting here. We're just pretty much just in freaking La La Land until we decide to break here. Now, these are just wicks. You don't want wicks to just break above and let that be your entry. Now, granted, I do enter here, and it does close above it slightly. I know I should have waited. This would have been a way better entry, so I'm just going to put forth some... all right, let me... Okay. Okay. So that would have been a way better entry there. So that's what I would have done better there. So, because I want y'all to be able to take better trades than I do. So, because I actually give free value here. So, yeah, I entered here. Not the greatest entry, but I was just looking for pretty much a candle close at least above it. Granted that this probably would have been a better entry, or this would have been a better entry there. So I do come into some drawdown. And I sell off two contracts here, and I sell off my last contract there. And yeah, I had this one up here, but we were just floating and we were just barcoding because I thought that we were going to come down and then eventually go up there. So I just sold off there, and this is a 2.5% risk to reward. So that's really good. And there should be a picture right here showing that. Now, let's get into what I like to discuss each and every single video. So, we have these devices right here. These devices keep us glued to them. Now, this is going to be a continuation of what I talked about yesterday because I just pondered that even more. This device right here is worth infinite money. Now, what I mean by that is most of y'all just scrolling here blindly, not really doing anything. Now, I am always conscious of my screen time, and I like to, after I get over a certain amount of hours on this phone, I like to put it away and learn something that day. It could be like reading, it could be going on an article, it could be learning something about the markets. Now, majority of my audience is trading, and but I want to speak abroad. So I want you to be able to use this device and make some money. Now, go learn something, go learn an online skill because as we all know, things get more expensive as time goes on. And no one's going to come and save you. The government's not going to drop money in your hand, and no one's going to come up to you and say, "I want that guy to have a Ferrari." So, you need to be able to use this device and learn a skill, an online skill, and be able to make some money because I don't think any of us want to sit in a chair and work a job 9 to 5. at least majority of my audience here. Now, if you're sitting in a job at least making $1 million a year, and even if that, I mean, probably 37% of that's going to go to federal income tax and on top of state tax. So, working a job for me is no bueno. So, I'm going to pick an online skill and I'm going to be my very own entrepreneur and scale this trading channel here. Now, it doesn't have to be trading. I just want y'all to learn an online skill and be aware of this thing right here, because this thing right here, the apps that you scroll on and the apps that you watch, they are being controlled by the smartest computers known to mankind. They have to keep you addicted to it because their whole end goal is to keep you glued to this thing long enough to be able to extract money from you. So just be aware of that, because um, that computer has almost infinite amounts of knowledge. So just be aware of this thing. Now, I want you to be able to use this device right here and to go get some money, and to learn a high value and a high income skill via an online method. Now, it doesn't have to be trading. It could be, like I said, owning a Shopify store, doing some TikTok shop, starting a channel, starting content creation, um, literally anything. I want y'all guys to go develop a skill. It does not necessarily have to be trading, but I just want you to go develop a skill. So just be aware of how much time you spend on this thing right here, because this device right here can make you infinite amounts of money. So just be very aware of that. So that's all I got to speak on today. And I hope my trader audience continues to risk it, have good risk management, have good, and just be aware of the trades that you take, and don't over leverage, and don't revenge trade. So, and then my other audience that wants to build an online skill, I hope y'all could use this device and find something that y'all could use and could make some money from. So that's all I got to say. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next trade recap. Catch y'all later.